Marlo growing up.
Yeah, before I was born.
Before you were born?
You don't have to.
Before you were born, me and your dad were both going to East LA College, and I think she was like 2 years old. She was so smart. She never bothered us, when we were just all sitting there studying, like in the living room. She had lots of books. She would go and get a book and sit there and imitate us too,
Before she could read?
Yeah. She would sit there and be looking, and I could see her through the corner of my eye, always looking at us to see if we were through or whatever, and she was ever since she was little, she was a kid with her own mind, Like when she was like, I think 9 months old, I used to sit her in the high chair so she could eat this baby food. No, I don't think she was even 9. I think she might have been 7 months old. Because she was still eating baby food, so I set her in this high chair, and so I feed her, And then one day she was like, she wouldn't eat. She kept crying and crying and just carrying on, And finally, I kind of got mad, and I just said, okay. I got a whole bunch of newspapers, put it around the high chair, and I said, there, you feed yourself. I didn't know what she wanted. All I know is that she didn't want me to feed her. She didn't want to eat or whatever, just cried. And so I said, there, I don't want to, I don't know what you want. Next thing you know, she had stopped her crying and she was feeding herself.
Wow.
So that's what she wanted.
Independence.
So from then on, I just put newspapers around the high chair, and I put her little bowl with spoon and everything there.
She could use a spoon too? Wow.
And she fed herself.
Wow.
Yeah, she could use a spoon. She fed herself. And I think we lived in those projects. She was like 3 years old. Was she 3? I think she was, I don't know if she was still 2 or 3 when I had little B. And I had the 2 cribs, one crib going this way and one this way. And she would jump over into little B's crib. And I don't know what she'd be doing there. Or, I don't know, in those days I slept late, till 10 or 11 or whatever. And she never bothered. What she would do is she would go into the kitchen, climb out of the crib, tiptoe to the kitchen, and open the refrigerator and get milk and cereal and feed herself, and then put everything away. And then when I get up, I said, oh, you must be hungry. And she would go, and I said, no, but you haven't eaten. She said, already ate. I said, no, what did you eat? Show me, what did you eat? So she ran to the refrigerator and she pointed to the milk.
¿Todo bien?
Ajá, gracias. ¿No quieres algo más? No. And pointing to the refrigerator and the cereal. I'm like, oh.
Wow.
This kid is too smart. But she was a kid that had to try everything herself. Like, she wasn't like you that I told you, this is poison, mijo. Never put these pills in your mouth. This is poison. And you wouldn't touch them. Her, I remember telling her, I think she was 2, and we had this stove. And I saw her turning the knobs. I said, Marlo, this is fire. You know, like she was trying to cook to or something. I said, it's fire. You know, it's hot. And I said, so don't turn it on because it's dangerous. So I turned myself to go to the sink or whatever, and what does she do? I hear a scream. And she had turned the stove on and put her hand like to see if it was really hot. You know, things like that. Wow.
Oh, it's interesting how that type of stuff just carries on the rest of your life.
That's your personality, you know. And her personality was trying to, like a little Leo, you know, I'm gonna do it. You have to, you know, I have to see for myself. But the funniest thing was that when she was like, I think 8 or 9, your dad for Christmas had bought her this. I think you remember it. I don't know.
When she was 8 or 9, I wasn't born.
Oh, that's right. You were born when she was 12. Okay, when she was like 8 or 9, your dad bought her like, you want to bake them? How about beans?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Bought her a pink cash register. So when I used to go downtown all the time, right? And whenever I went downtown, it was like I always had to keep my eye on her, grab her by the hand. She was always taking the prices of the merchandise. And at first I didn't know, you know, she was always taking out but when I got home, like one day I went into her room, it's like, where is she, you know? Marlo, where are you? And she wouldn't answer. And then but I saw the closet door a little bit ajar. So I opened the closet door and she had fixed herself there like a little stool and a little table, and she had the cash register there with 1,000,000 price tags that she had gotten from clothes, you know, and she was just adding them up. She was just adding them up, you know. Like, oh my God, this kid, you know.
Was she a solitary kid? Like, did she like to play with other people, or?
Oh yeah. She was a solitary kid in the way that she was born when we lived in the projects. And you know, the kids are over there all like little hoods. They were mean. But there was this one little, so I always kind of kept her with me, and whatever, there was some little girl that lived by your Tia B's house that would come and play with her, you know. And there was a little kid, a real toughy little kid that was about her age. but that sometimes would come and play with her, you know. But once we moved over here, well, I think she was like 6 when we moved over here. And, you know, she was a docile kid. And I always dressed her in frilly clothes because your grandma Momo made her a lot of little like holly hobby little dresses and hats and so I always dressed her like that. And I don't know if the kids at school were just mean or didn't like her for that or whatever. They used to always hit upon her, the boys and whatever. I mean, this was only in the first grade. It got so bad to the point where the teacher would let her go home first, like 5 minutes before class, and because we kept going over there, you know. And until finally I told her, I said, you tell those kids, if they hit you one more time, I'm going to be waiting for them after school. And then I'm going to beat the crap out of them, too. So, and then the kids went and told their mothers. And they called me. I said, your daughter is... That was this one particular girl, the one that lived right there in the middle hall. She was always beating up on Marlo, I don't know why. She was like... Marlo was 6 and this girl was like 10 or 12. And she called me. She said, I hear you're going to beat up my daughter. I said, yes, I am. She's been beating up on my kid all this time. Well, you better not lay a hand on her. Then I said, then you better tell her to quit hitting my kid. She said, you're an older woman and blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, and how old is your daughter and how old is my kid? And I'm telling you right now, unless you want to take the beating for her, you better tell her to leave my kid alone or I will be waiting after school. And after that, I left her alone, you know. But anyway, Marlo was... I think when she became very more aggressive was when she got into high school. I think that's when she became very competitive and whatever, and then she kind of smartened up and she made friends with this Samoan girls. And you know, Samoan girls are huge. So she hung around with them, so if anybody wanted to mess with her, the Samoan girls took care of her, you know. So, and Samoan people are like that, because when I worked in a packing house, I had a friend that was Samoan. She was like, you know, they're quiet and whatever, but you know what? You don't mess with them, you know. So, anyway. She was a really good kid, Marlo, you know. And then you came along and she acted like you were a little doll, you know, taking care of you and all that. You know, reading to you all the time. And I mean, I have lots of pictures on her. You're propped up on these pillows. And she's reading to you and you're just laughing, you know. So, and I don't know what you want to know about her.
That's it.